Hi there. Today's video, I'm outside and on the move, so I hope the sound will work out okay. Today I wanted to talk about cold showers because there's a lot of stuff in the media about how great cold showers are for your health generally, and without getting into the details of that, I wondered whether I could do a video describing how it might impact your singing voice, because your singing voice is very much related to your health. And I've got some notes here because this is quite a complicated one. There is a load of evidence, both scientific and anecdotal, saying that cold showers are good for you. But when you apply it to your voice, I think we can probably sort of classify this evidence into three groups, namely indirect effects. So the cold showers improve one thing and then that improves your voice. Resistance to illness, because let's face it, as singers, if you've got a sore throat and you have to do your gig, you're in trouble. So that's the second classification. And the other one is actual direct impact upon your voice to make hopefully an improvement. So the first one, indirect effects. Well, if you were to, the main effect that people talk about is metabolism. So the idea is you get a kind of a cold shock when you go into the shower, and this gives your metabolism a bit of a kick up the backside. And that's generally a good thing, because as human beings, human animals, we were used to being chased by lions and having to swim in cold water and do a bit of exercise or whatever, and then the rest of our time in the day might be quite relaxing and calm rather than the sort of 24-hour low level of stress that we seem to suffer at this point. And that's, I suppose, if you were to improve your metabolism, that might have a positive general effect on your health, and therefore that would perhaps help in your voice, and the same could probably be said for the mood improvements. So there's some evidence that cold showers have, and I sometimes wonder whether that's just as simple as, well, if the most horrible thing you did in your day was a cold shower, everything else just seems not so bad, The second thing, rather than indirect effects, we could talk about actual respiratory illness and resistance to infection. There's two things there's a bit of evidence for on that. One of them is that people who take cold showers, there is evidence to say that they get fewer sick days than people who don't. Now, you've got to look at that in the context of all the other things these people who have gone to the lengths of getting under a cold shower every morning might have done for their health. So it's not necessarily that simple. But if you were to take that at face value, then you would say, okay, fewer sick days is good, because that means when I come to doing my gig, I'm less likely to be ill, that's cool, I'd be happy, I'd take that. The other thing you could say with some certainty is that when people take cold showers, they have a higher white blood cell count floating about the system, which in theory would be helpful to resist infection. But in a way, that's another indirect effect, because I'm not so sure. The one immediately evident quid pro quo positive effect that you can have is that when you take a cold shower, you will find that your veins and arteries constrict. And when they do that, your blood pressure and your blood flow goes to the core of your body, and the outside of your body not so much. And that has apparently positive effects on your cardiovascular system. But more to the point, in order to do that, there's just musculature all over your body acting in order to do that vasoconstriction. And these muscles aren't solely for that purpose. They're the muscles that you use to breathe, to move. They're just, and so that impact, it's an involuntary muscle movement. And what's important about that is that as improving singers, we are all how can I put it? We're all in the habit of breaking habit patterns. That's what it comes down to. So, I mean, you may choose to continue doing what it was that you habitually learned from when you were a child, but you know what, you want a choice about it. Or you may choose not to do it, and that may have positive effects on the consistency of your voice, or on the tone of your voice, or on the capacity of your voice to do certain things. And so anything like a cold shower, which literally breaks up a habit pattern, it's an involuntary movement, is going to be a good thing. Now, this has implications for how you approach a cold shower, because if you're talking about the sort of cold shock that I described earlier and the positive effect that may have on your metabolism, that's not exactly what you're looking for in this case, because actually you're looking more for introducing the cold slowly enough that you can remain relaxed while you do it and experience as much of the involuntary movement in your muscles to create vasoconstriction as you possibly can, and not inhibit it by gripping, basically. So you want to create as much cold shock as you can without gripping at all. You know, and gripping and tensing your body is initially when you start, and probably, let's face it, I did cold showers every morning for 3 years at one point, and really I still grip up when you put that cold water on me to an extent, certainly when you put it on fast. So, I mean, my goal at the moment, rather than that cold shock for my metabolism, don't need that, drink plenty of coffee. Rather than that, I'm actually going for introducing the water slowly enough that I can be relaxed the whole time that I'm doing it, and so experience those involuntary muscle movements as much as possible, and so hopefully break as many habit patterns as I possibly can. I hope I said that clearly enough, because I know it's reasonably complicated. I think that's all I've got to say on the subject. Bye for now.